you just have to go for it. Just even little, I call it brick by brick, just, place that first brick. And if you got your day job or whatever you got to go do, come, in the weekend or something, chuck another one on there. And before you know it, you've got a fortress.
Kia ora team, Richard Liew here, editor at nzentrepreneur.co.nz. Today I'm stoked to be talking to Max Semmons-Russell. He's the founder at Greenlight Escrow. Max, welcome.
Hey Richard.
Now, you were a plumber by trade, and the thing I love about this story and what you've been working on is you've sort of gone about trying to solve a problem that you saw tradies have all the time, which is getting paid on time by their clients. So can you tell us quickly about Greenlight Escrow? What are the key problems that you're solving?
Yeah, so still a tradie, still got my plumbing company. But the key problems I'm trying to solve, or we are solving now, is late payments and non-payments. And we're doing it through our platform via way of Escrow, which is basically a safe middle ground. And the money's held in trust, and the whole platform's built around the back and forth sort of dealings between a tradie and a homeowner, and going from having a quote accepted to then having your customer load the money into your Greenlight account, which is held in trust, which then you start then you begin your work. Whereas in the old way of doing it was do the work first and then invoice after. Which works fine sometimes, but yeah, a lot of the time it doesn't.
So for those who haven't heard of Escrow, as you mentioned, it's it's been around for a long time, almost as long as people have been doing business together, right? We use it when we buy houses off each other, right? The purchaser will pay the money for the house into the lawyer's trust account, and then only when the seller provides the keys and proof that the house is all ready to move in, then the lawyer will release that money out of escrow. So it's very interesting to see how you're doing this in the trades. As you mentioned, potentially I'm guessing that you've seen an opportunity to go outside of offering the service for trades and into broader sort of businesses in general. And we all know that for small business owners, the delays in getting paid, you do the work up front, then you invoice, and then it can be 7 to 90 days in many cases waiting for your money. In the meantime, you've got to keep paying all your bills. So did you have an experience yourself which you were like, man, I just can't take this anymore, I've got to do something about this? And can you describe the process you went through to try and find a solution before you came up with your own?
So I have had many experiences of being paid late, and some not being paid on time, where a company liquidates or you just lose contact with people, and it's not a huge number of times that's happened, but it has been a huge cost and massive stress on the plumbing company, almost to the point of where I was like, this is too hard, I think I'll just go back to a day job. So I had my own experiences, and I was fairly new to business at the time, been in the trades a long time. But so I started asking other people if they've had the same sort of thing, and of course they had, and I heard some horror stories, and everyone, like 90% of business owners I talk to have had the same problem. And each time I talk to people about it, they're like, because I sort of was doing my own research and the questions I was asking, they're like, what are you doing? And I was like, I think I've got something. And they're like, yeah, this is like, we'll be keen, like, let us know what you're doing. I was sort of being a little bit of a secret squirrel at the time because I thought I had the big idea, but other people wanted to fix the problem too. They just didn't know how. So yeah, I stumbled. I don't know how I thought of this. I thought of using escrows just in the back of my head somewhere, but then I just started trying to see if that had been done before in New Zealand, which it hadn't. Not the way we're doing it anyway, but around the world is quite common. So I just started studying these other companies around the world and seeing how they do it, and then developed something around my needs. So it's Escrow, but it's put together in a way that is convenient for for tradies and homeowners, basically.
From the technology side, so you built an app, right? Can you tell us about the process that you went through to get all that done? Because this is new to you, right? And I'm really fascinated to hear from you what it's been like going from running a plumbing business to trying to build a tech solution for a financial problem. I know there must have been a heck of a lot of work gone into it.
It's been a wild ride, that's for sure. I think we're coming up 3 years now. I suppose I've fast tracked. I'd put it like this: that I've now done my apprenticeship in sort of software development, and I can't code, but I've got a fair idea how it works now. So I've got the basics, and the basics in fintech. But I suppose I wasn't working for anyone, so I suppose I've done my apprenticeship and a bit more, sort of being in the deep end. And the amount I've learned over the last few years is just crazy. But yeah, so I don't know how to code, and then I reached out. I found someone to help build it, start building it, and that was mind-boggling, to be honest. It was like something I just didn't know how anything worked. I know how to use a computer, but I didn't know how like everything gels together and all these processes. And so yeah, just sort of flew into it with any spare money I had, and didn't really have a plan or anything, and just sort of quick thinking on the spot and navigating quickly got me to where I am. A lot of people like I've talked to now, they're like, you're sort of crazy for like doing it the way you've done it. Most people, because I started spending money straight away. It's not really, I suppose, the normal way to do it. You should really validate that it's going to make money. But I wasn't worried about whether it was going to make money. I knew it was a problem to fix. So I was sort of just not worried on what I could get out of it in the end. I've gone along the way just trying to fix this problem, which I think we've got now. But yeah, definitely learned a lot, and still learning every day.
Yeah. Well, yeah, hats off to you, man. And look, it's really common. You know, how do you do something that you've never done before? Well, for most entrepreneurs or founders, you just get started, right? And you learn by trial and error and doing. You were, though, accepted into the Kokiri program, I think it was last year's 2022. Can you tell us how that came about, and just what did you get out of that?
that was another sort of spur of the moment thing. I was looking for help, and I came across the Kokiri website or the initiative, and they were looking for tech startups, and I was like, oh, I think that that's what I'm doing. And like, I'm part Māori, I'm half Māori, and I was like, sweet, I've sort of fit in here. I'm going to have a crack at it. And I put in, and they had been, I think it was their third year, the year that I made it in, and they had already been looking for people since the last cohort, I don't know, the last 9 months, and they sort of had whittled down who they thought they would use. And I chucked my name in the hat, and then got to the top 20, and then they were sort of narrowing it down to like a top 10, and then I got a phone call, and they said, hey, you haven't made it in. I was like, sweet ass, that's cool. Just I'd like to keep in touch and that. They said, but if someone drops out or can't, I suppose I got a lot of flexibility already being self-employed, so I could meet what sort of stuff they wanted me to do. And then a few weeks later, they rang and said, hey, someone couldn't make it. Would you be keen to jump in? And I was like, sweet. So yeah, so jumped in, and that was really intense. And me and you have had a conversation about it before, but my idea was like sort of all over the show. Still is, but they really helped me hone in on the actual problem I was trying to solve, and basically gave me a crash course in startup world, and super helpful, super, like it, yeah, it got me to where I am now. I've actually launched a product and making some money now. They played a big part in that. I'd still probably be wandering around the web, the universe, and yeah, trying to figure this out. So yeah, Corkity was good.
So can you tell us now, for people who might be interested in checking it out, any tradies out there who are looking for a better way to, manage their jobs, get paid, make sure everyone's happy, where do they go?
So they just go to greenlightescrow.co.nz, and on the landing page there's all the sort of facts and frequently asked questions and media stuff I've done in the past, and then there's a green button there for signing up, and it's free to sign up. You just put your name and your email, password, and you're in. And it's always free. Like you can, so there's no harm in making. It's always free until you start trading or making transactions, but it's free to jump in there and have a look. And I'm always a phone call away. Like I'm really hands-on at the moment, because I'm still trying to sort of see where we fit in the market. So I'm more than happy to sit down, like if people are in Auckland, or do a Zoom and help them get their quotes accepted and paid through Greenlight. But I mean, this is how easy it is. On Tuesday this week, I was real estate agent friend of mine rang me and said, hey, this lady's trying to sell her house, but the roof doesn't have any flashings on these, like the vent pipes going through the roof. Can you get this done quickly, because they want to get it on the market? And I was like, and he's like, she's gonna ring you. And I was like, cool. Talked to her, said, hey, that's an easy job. I'll send you a quote and then we'll get into it. So I didn't tell her that I was using Greenlight. I just made the quote on my invoicing software, and then I dragged it onto Greenlight and set a milestone payment for the amount and sent it to her. And then 2 hours later, I got an email saying, hey, the money's in escrow, go, you can get to go do your job now. So we did the job on the first. So she put the money in the same day, but we're a little bit busy, but we got there on the Thursday, did the job. And then I rang her and said, how was that? And she was like, really easy. And yeah, so it works. Another a user of ours, another master plumber, he used it recently on a job, and it was already a repeat client for him, but he was like, I'm gonna give this a go. So it was a $35,000 job or something, right? Putting in a septic tank, and he broke it into like two parts, 75% for them, because the septic tank was quite expensive, and then it's just a couple of days work. So 75% for materials, and then 25% for labor. And he got them, send it to his customer, who's he had no problem like thinking he would be paid late, because they've worked together before. But anyway, he sent it off to try it, and she paid it all up front. Then he got the tank on site, and then he asked for release of the materials. She did that, and then the money was there for the labor. So the next day he went and installed it. And then she reached out to me directly and emailed me and said, what a fantastic service we've provided, because she's still chasing money off a cowboy tradie who ripped her off, and she can't get hold of him. So she was like, even though the master plumber that she used, she trusted him 100%. She just said that extra little bit of security just made all the difference.
That's a really important thing to note, isn't it? Because it's not just protection for the tradie providing the job, it's protection for the customer who knows that they're only going to release the payment when they are happy to sign it off and it's been done. So
yeah, honest. I always think I'm being biased, but it just seems like I can't see the I can't see the bad side of it.
That's awesome. And look, Max, you're allowed to be a bit biased, mate. That's your job. So,
Yeah.
so congratulations on everything you've done so far to bring it to market, and really keen to just see how you go. Hope there's lots of uptake. You're solving a really important problem. And I just love this because it's a real good case study of someone solving a problem for themselves and turning that into a business. So good on you, mate. Any last words you've got to anyone, maybe who has an idea out there, wondering what they think they should do with it?
You just have to go for it. Just even little, I call it brick by brick. Just, place that first brick, and if you got your day job or whatever you got to go do, come in the weekend or something, chuck another one on there, and before you know it, you've got a fortress.